So, this was actually an inspiration from the previous video of the Forever Evil adaptation, and I'm trying to look up real quick to see who it was. It was Bill McLaughlin, who kind of wouldn't it be funny if this followed up with a version of Batman Superman Public Enemies? And while it's not a direct follow up to Forever Evil going to Public Enemies, this is a inspiration by that. So thank you, Bill, for the indirect inspiration for this story. So this story basically takes place in, again, a shared cartoon universe, and basically what has happened is that we have Vlad Masters has returned, and he's more or less like talking about, oh, I've been born again, I've seen the error of my ways after the Phantom Planet and all that, so I am going to change everything, and he starts rebuilding himself, and then eventually he runs for president and actually wins the presidency, so now there's President Masters. And meanwhile, at the same time, Danny's like, how does anyone vote for this guy? How does anyone vote for this guy? He tried to kill the planet. He tried to take over the world. And to which everyone's like, yeah, but he's gonna make the planet great again. Yeah, because it's not the first time that the U.S. government's voted for someone who's clearly a dictator. Anyway, moving on. So yes, Vlad. Literally, he takes office, and basically what it is that at first, Danny and the rest of the superhero community is kind of really worried about the idea of Vlad, either registering superheroes or outlawing them or whatnot. But so far, it's been kind of tentatively, it's not as bad as anyone's making it out to be. What it really is that Vlad's kind of fixed the economy. He has also boosted Social Security, but at the same time, Danny at no point is this is bullshit. This is, at no point is what, maybe Vlad did turn around. Maybe I had, but no, he's like, no, I've known Vlad for better than anyone, and that dude is playing up to something, so he wouldn't be doing all this unless he had, something in mind. If he had, there is some big grandiose scheme, and if he, I'm convinced he is going to do something. So Danny's convinced about this. He's not the only one. There are other heroes, but there are other heroes who are actually, siding with Masters, even though, yeah, they know he's a bad dude, but, they are basically, hey, he's, even though he's kind of a horrible person, it's not the first time we've had horrible presidents, do, good. And then to which Danny retorts with, yeah, but sometimes we just had horrible presidents who were just horrible. So, among those who are kind of on his side is Kim in this storyline. Now, Kim in this continuity, Danny and her are friends. They're not in a romantic relationship. She's with Ron, and they're more it's a platonic friendship. And the two have basically been working together a lot. They were basically the two big heroes that brought in the new generation of superheroes. It's kind of like how Superman and Batman rang in the new generation of superheroes for this universe. Danny and Kim were kind of the two big superheroes that brought in the new generation of superheroes. From out of the past with the old Hanna-Barbera eras like Space Ghost and Birdman and all of them. So, yeah. So these two, they've basically been working together a lot, and Kim is very, against the idea of Masters as well, but she's not as vocal about it. Really, she's more, kind of overseeing everything, she's just kind of, watching and playing it more smart, whereas Danny is, more boisterous about it. Into which Kim and Danny kind of have, the sit-down talk and basically say, hey, so the more you crow about it, the more you're just going to get people mad about it. And, the more you're just going to have more people turn against you. So, he's going to, if you really say you know Vlad as well as you do, then he's going to fuck up. So wait until he fucks up. Then we'll capitalize on it. Anyway, so that moment to which he is going to fuck up comes in the form of another Ecto comet coming to Earth, and this one is twice the size of the other one that was hurtling towards Earth. And Danny at first is like, cool, I'll just use the whole phase the planet thing, and to which Kim goes, do you really think all of your enemies are gonna like ally again with you to do it? And Vlad even says like, no, this time the US government will stand in the way of this, and we will stop this no matter what. And I pulled out an olive branch to my old adversary, Danny Phantom. Danny, if you can hear me, please come see me, and we will discuss matters. The other thing is that Vlad hasn't revealed that Danny Phantom is Danny Fenton, and Danny knows that he's just holding that over his head. Like, if he crosses him, then he'll leak his identity to the world. So Danny shows up on a privately to meet with Vlad, and he's like, okay, so you want to work together, right? And Vlad's like, no, that's not how this works. See, you're not working with me, you're working for me. So, yeah, the public, it's best in the public's interest and yours if you just, kneel and, just submit. Just submit to working for me. Like, I'm putting together a government task force, and they'll do what I say when I say it, and I want you there, my boy. And to which Danny's like, no, that's not how this is gonna work. And to which Vlad's like, tough shit, this is how it's going to happen. So Vlad actually manipulates the this whole thing of having sorry, my brain just blanked out. So my apologies, my brain just blanked out on me. And basically what happens is that oh my god, my brain just flat out blanked out. Oh right, Zartan, who's in disguise, attacks Danny, and it makes it look he was posing as the head of security for this the Secret Service. Really, he was just in Vlad's employment, and he makes it look like Danny attacks the Secret Service to try to get at Danny, and basically says, like on live television, Danny Phantom has attacked me, but not of his own volition. It pains me to say that the Ecto comet is affecting his mind. And to which Danny's like, oh, that's bullshit. And Kim, who's also watching this with him, is like, can it though? And he's like, no, if it was, then it'd be affecting him now, wouldn't it? And why isn't anyone asking that question? So, Danny is now labeled an enemy of the state for attacking the president, and Kim goes along with him to help clear his name and also figure out how to stop this Ecto comet, which this time around they're going to basically plant a rocket. They're going to have a thermal nuclear rocket phase into the comet and blow it up from the inside. So that's the government's current plan, but also Vlad's getting more and more obsessed with the idea of like, yeah, this is how I finally get to enact my whole thing of, beating Danny. And this is also how I'll get a second term. He's already he's already going overboard with this whole thing of this is how I finally beat my oldest enemy. So Danny and Kim are now on the run, and they actually get cornered by a shit ton of villains. Like, they just get completely surrounded by just an army of villains all around them, and have to fight their way through every one of them. Not only that, but there's also been a joint task force by different superheroes to bring in Danny Phantom and Kim Possible, who's now also been registered. Like, now that she's aiding and abetting Danny, she's also considered an enemy of the state. So Danny is basically like, well, shit, the only person I can really trust right now is my friend, the teen superhero with new superpowers. This is great. This is not how I wanted my day to go. That's wonderful. So after that, the task force consists of Jenny, El Tigre, even Ladybug and Cat Noir are part of this group, and they're like, guys, we know you, so please surrender, because this is not going to end well for you. And they managed to fight. They managed to get away from this task force sent for them, and eventually they discover that there's a secret lab, and that Vlad has been conducting, and he's the one who actually used a experimental satellite to pull the Ecto comet to Earth, so he could look like the big savior at the last second. Yeah, he's been playing. This was his big endgame goal, and also dragging Danny Phantom through the mud was also the cherry on top for that. So by the end of it, Kim has to use this manned rocket to blow up the Ecto comet, while at the same time Danny and Vlad have one last big fight on the front of the White House lawn after they have Lexington from the Gargoyles basically show the information that Vlad had shown the world. So yeah, that's there. And by the end of it, Vlad gets arrested. He's impeached. He's arrested. Kicked out of office, and yeah. So by the end of it, the charges on Danny are dropped, and yeah, that's it. All's well that ends well. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my version of Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. Hope you all enjoyed this. Bill McLaughlin threw out the idea, and I was like, oh, I can't get it out of my head. I have to talk about it. Jason and I actually did the other night talk about this as a story in the Infinityverse, but it's more than likely now going to be Danny and Kim as the Superman Batman stand-ins. But we do want to do Public Enemies as a story. But it'll probably be with different characters. And Vlad is still out in space, so he's not going to be president. Anyway, so hope you all enjoyed this. If you haven't already, go check out my Patreon to get exclusive videos, and if you hit the 4th tier, you can request videos for me to do here on Patreon. But other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.